Me and this bike right here, we've got some history. For 2.5 years, we've covered countless miles together, and this bike, it's really become an extension of me. That might sound a bit silly and overly sentimental, but it's the honest truth. It's been with me since day one of this channel, and this bike represents a bit of a paradigm shift in my riding style. It's also the first full suspension bike that I've ever truly loved. I'll explain why that is here in a minute, but first, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So playful. You're probably wondering why I'm saying goodbye to my Hightower. If I love it so much, why part ways? Local trail rides, big days in the mountains, evening sessioning features with friends, countless party laps at the bike park, the steepest terrain and the sloppiest conditions, racing gnarly courses with rowdy hecklers. We've done it all together. I've argued that the Hightower is a top contender for the ultimate quiver killer, and I still feel this way even a year after making such a bold claim. If I could only have one single bike to cover all of the types of riding that I do, this latest version of Santa Cruz's all-arounder is still my top pick. Not only does it excel at a wide variety of terrain, but it's a resilient workhorse that's incredibly easy to maintain. The linkages and hardware are well thought out and offer a consistently quiet ride. My hat's off to Santa Cruz because they really have their engineering dialed. I've only ever had one complaint with this bike, but in all fairness, that's due to my desire to run coil shocks, which that's not something Santa Cruz had in mind when designing this bike. I love riding technical chunky trails, and the performance characteristics offered by a coil shock suits that terrain and my style very well. I spent a lot of time trying to find ways around this, but ultimately, I could never find a satisfactory solution that I was comfortable with in the long term. Regardless, I've spent the better part of 3 seasons on this dependable workhorse because I love everything else about it so much. So what's next? In the last couple of years, I've added a couple of new bikes to my quiver. I picked up my first ever downhill bike, which I've truly come to love for those bike park days where a little extra travel for hitting really big features is a nice bit of added insurance and comfort. With its burly aluminum frame design, the Camisole Supreme has been great at taking the amped up abuse that our regional bike parks like to dish out. I've also since replaced my trusty hardtail with a full suspension cross-country bike that's become my main go-to for riding more mellow local trails. As it turns out, the Revel Ranger is a very capable bike that handles far more than I had initially imagined. It's even become my go-to for all but the gnarliest long epics in the mountains. Now that my Hightower isn't seeing any lighter duty trail action, its versatility in this area is much less important to me. So, it's time to say goodbye, old friend, at least for now. The time has come to replace you with something that fills my current needs a little bit better. Right now, I'm most interested in a bike that can still pedal relatively well, but that is coil shock friendly and able to handle bigger features with more poise and support. So, what bike should I go with? There are so many great options out there, and for anyone on the hunt for that perfect fit, the seemingly endless options can be a bit daunting to sort through. So, comment below, tell me what you think is the best bike to fill this space and why. Well, that's all for today, my friends. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned to find out what bike I end up going with. I wish you all a wonderful holiday season, and until next time, I hope to see you out on the trails.